time. God is great every day. Amen. Amen. Toma tuku pea whawhetai me whamalo lahi ki o tuai whainga maali o ku omi kia te au I he momeniti ko ini pea ni mua pe whau ki tā anō mai whanau ku whamalo lahi kia te kumotohon ko tā pea hei ome whainga maali ko ni kia te au neo ngana e totonia koe katonia ko nina e tonia ki whai meki ko sieri ko lela pe ko Grace pe ko ataha ia motolu ka go fia la he ma whainga maali e ko ni hange lame whakulata mai sisu ke mo o ki ma mani o tarake me o lelei pea ko whamalo la he te he whainga maali e ko ni whamiri neo ko tu au ka ko lau pe koe tāpua ke whainga maali o ma oku he whainga maali e ko ni ke vahe a lelea e ki he tau whanau e aho ko ni kai ki mua ia ko kole whamole mole atu ka pau ia ha ngahianga ngahi whakafotunga ta tāwat me te au ko kole whamole mole atu te kumoto e tupe mua ke hufanga ati e kia ne whai sisu he kolosi ka tā mua ke ne mea ngau e aki he aho ko ni ke whai tawa noa ma ai whanau. Amen. So kids, today we're going to talk about the story about the king and his son. Koe ki tāla noa ka nina, o si tāla noa pe au he whalaite moe aneafi, pea moe ahoni ki moe maha uki a latai pea mo kofe ke na mahino ia uhinga tāla noa, uhinga ke o te tāla noa tūkina o tae mahino e mea te tāla noa ke he ahoni. Pea ko ia e ka pauloa ku iafi hala ke tāla noa whamole mole e ngu lau, ka mo toki whai motoro pa to whai mea line whakakato e ahoni. Okay, so the story of today, remember Tai and Kofe that I talked to you guys about? It talks about the king and the son, which is God and Jesus. The king is God and the son is Jesus. So as the story goes, the king told his servants to go out and invite the people to come to the wedding of Jesus. But many of them didn't want to come because they had their own reasons and they said because I'm busy with this and I'm busy with that. And so they didn't want to come up to a point that they killed God's servants or the king's servants just because they didn't want to come. And the king was very angry and very mad and very upset that he sent out his army and killed all those people who didn't listen to him. And then God said to his servants, since I invited these people and they didn't want to come, I'm going to send you guys again to go and invite anybody in the world, you know, even if they're good or they're bad, if they're homeless or anyone you see in the streets, ask them and invite them to come to the wedding. And so the people who got invited to the wedding, they came to the wedding. And then the king, and then it says in the Bible, the king came out to see these people and he saw a man who didn't wear a garment. Remember, you guys remember what a garment is, right? He didn't wear a wedding garment. And the king was like, my friend, how did you get in here? You're not wearing a wedding garment. And he didn't say anything. And then the king told his soldiers, come and take him, tie his feet and his hands, and throw him outside to the darkness. And as I told you guys at home, and we've been talking about this lesson for today, the king is God and the son is Jesus, right? And the wedding is like an example of coming into heaven, because that's what the Bible says, right? And so God invited his people. You guys remember the chosen people of God? What are they called? The Jews. Exactly, the Jews. God invited the Jews to come to heaven, but some of them they refused, and some of them even killed the prophets, which are the servants in the Bible. It says they killed the prophets even up to Jesus, the Son of God, right? And God was so mad and so angry. So instead of so he moved on from just inviting the Jews to inviting the people. What are they called? You guys remember? The Gentiles. We are the Gentiles. Anyone who's not a Jew is a Gentile. And all of us over here today, we're all Gentiles. And we have been invited into heaven by God, even though we were not supposed to be invited. But God gave us a chance and invited us all to come into heaven. But remember that man who did not wear the garment or didn't have any wedding clothes. In the Bible says, it's talking about if there's a specific garment that we have to wear in order to be in heaven with God and Jesus Christ, right? Do you guys remember what that garment is? Do you guys remember? What do we have to wear or who do we have to have in here in order to be in heaven? Exactly, Jesus Christ. In John chapter 14, verse 6, it says, Jesus is the what?
The way, the truth, and the life.
Jesus is the what?
The way, the truth, and the life.
Exactly. In John 14, verse 6, it says, Jesus answered, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Through who? Jesus Christ. Exactly. So the two main things I want you guys to understand today is that we have to accept the invitation that God has given us and use that chance wisely, right? To prepare ourselves and to make sure that we have the garment, which is who? Jesus Christ. Because if we don't have Jesus, we won't go to heaven, and that means we're going to go to where?
Hell.
Exactly. Do you guys want to go to hell?
No.
Exactly. So we have to accept Jesus into our hearts and live like Jesus did, so that when we die, whenever it is that God will call us to go back home, we will go back to heaven and not hell. Okay?